How are we sure which is the causal direction? Is our consciousness creating the tree, or the tree is creating the conscious experience of the tree? Can we say a definite answer to that? Is there a definite way to say which one is the cause, which one is the effect? A simple answer is, okay, let's see what happens first. Because it looks like if you have to determine cause and effect, what happens first is the cause, the effect comes later. So therefore, let's see whether the tree comes first and then we see it, or we see the tree and then it comes. If there's a time lag between the two, we will find out which is the cause and which is the effect. Supposing our eyes were such, we look and we don't see a tree, then suddenly a tree comes. We'll say, we are making up the tree. It wasn't there, now we can see it. Or if the tree is placed and then only we say, oh, now the tree has come. It wasn't there earlier. But we put the tree outside to see. Then the cause and effect will be, you need a tree to see it. The trouble is, the seeing of the tree and the tree are simultaneously with not even a nanosecond of gap between the two. There is no time gap at all. Therefore, you are left with the question, open question again, because the time factor does not come in. It's simultaneous. You see the tree and the tree is there at the same time. So we have been arguing about it, debating for years. Is there any definite way to find an answer to this question? You can do measurement of the optic nerve, you can do measurement of the brains, you can do waves, study of these at length. The position still remains the same. We don't know which one has come first. But there is a way to find out what is creating what. That is, why don't you go into consciousness itself? Why don't you see what consciousness can do by going into it? Instead of looking at the external experiences of consciousness, why don't you study consciousness itself? And if you study consciousness, a big byproduct will be that you'll be able to study your own self. Because your own self originates from your being a conscious being. So that's why a study of consciousness, a study of your own self within yourself, a study what happens in your head, a study how these sense perceptions operate, can best be studied from going to the site where this is happening. The site is inside us and not outside, obviously. Therefore, whether you pursue with the question, who am I really? Who is myself? What is myself? Where is myself? You can pursue this question. And you will find you cannot find an answer outside of yourself when you're looking for the self. It has to be within you. And within you, it has to be within this body in which you're functioning, and all the experience of self where you make decisions, where you decide what to do, where you think, are all happening inside the body. It cannot be anywhere outside. Running anywhere outside is useless if you're studying where yourself is and who yourself is. The only place where you can study where yourself is, which is the root cause of all your conscious experiences, is within yourself. If you want to find where it is within yourself, start with the body. Where could it be within this body? Could it be your hands and fingernails or toes or something? That's not where you think from at all. That's not where you feel you are. Therefore, you reject the extremities. You keep moving and you find whatever has to be found must be within this simple area of your head. You can look down upon the heart, look down upon all the different organs functioning. You can experience them, feel them, how they are all working autonomously to sustain you, to sustain your life. But when you say, where are you doing it from? It all boils down to somewhere in the head. You can narrow it down further by closing your eyes so that you are not distracted. Closing your ears, you are not distracted. And look within and say, where am I? And you will find you've always been somewhere in the center of this head, behind the eyes, from where you operate. Anybody can do it. It doesn't take long to close your eyes and say, where am I thinking from? Where am I? If I am not my body. Once you come to that point, you have begun a journey toward discovering yourself. Very good starting point. The difficulty is, we don't go there. I keep on reminding my friends who are seeking the truth about themselves, that please go to the starting point. Don't waste your time elsewhere. Other things are good if they tell you about the starting point. Read books, but do not think that the books will give you truth. Books do not contain the truth. Books contain a description of experiences. Books contain a theory of different things. You can read all your life, all the books, and get no knowledge of where you are operating from. You read books for information, but do not think that the books will give you any truth or give you knowledge of yourself. You can read all the books of the world and they will not give you anything, scriptures included. These are all things for giving us information on how to proceed. Ultimately, you must come back to the starting point. The starting point is behind the eyes, in the center of your head. You can close your eyes any time and feel that's where you are when you are awake. Being awake in the physical body is a great experience. It gives you the power of free will. It gives you the choice to sit there or not to sit there. It gives you a choice to meditate or not to meditate. You don't get this when you're sleeping. You can't get this in a dream. You can't get this in astral plane. You can't get this in any heaven. But you can only get it when you're in a human body in the wakeful state. Imagine, I am not only saying the human body is a great form of life in which you can do this. I am saying within the human body, the wakeful state is the only state where you can really find the truth about your own self. Take advantage of this. When you are awake in the physical body, close your eyes. You can feel, you have a choice now. You are using your choice-making capacity, the free will, to determine where are you. Find where you are. See what is stopping you from being there. See what kind of thoughts come and drag you out. It won't take you very long to find out the thoughts that are dragging you out are all the attachments you have created to people and things. We have created attachment to our houses, to our cars, to our property, to people, to our relatives, to those we love outside as physical beings. We have put all our attention on them. When we try to sit inside for a little while, thoughts run out to all these. We can't even sit at our own place where we are supposed to be in the wakeful state. It's an irony that we are already there at the starting point of our spiritual journey and we can't stay there because of the attachments we have created outside. And outside, which by all means, by every measurement is going to be temporary. Whether they are really temporary or not, whether we are creating them or not, doesn't matter. Even if they are real, in this physical body, from where we are having attachment to them, this physical body will die. Inevitably die. We have never seen anybody living in immortal body here. This physical body must die. So the experience that we are having outside and all the relationships we are creating outside, all the desires and attachments we are creating outside are temporary. In every case, are we going to let these destroy our own journey into our discovery of our own self? But they are destroying. You can try it out. When you try and sit behind the eyes, these thoughts take you out, one after the other. They pull you. So we know what the problem is. The problem is we have too many attachments and desires and fixed ourselves outside so that they pull us out when we try to be within our own self, right at the seat from where our spiritual journey and discovery of who we are will start. It takes time. It takes time to stay there and hold on to something that will make us stay there. Now, that is a very big key to the point I'm going to make. The most important key. What is it that can hold you inside and prevent you from having your mind run all the time outside? What can you do to have something there inside which can hold you tight there so that you for a moment forget what the relationships outside are and forget what is happening to the world of matter and people outside? What can be so powerful that could hold you there and not let you go out? I'll give you a little example. When a little girl in a house plays with her dolls. Her dolls are all everything for her. She loves her dolls. They are real for her. She sleeps with the dolls. If you take one doll away, she cries. Her attachment with the dolls is so great. Then she gets adulthood and she falls in love with an actual person. The dolls are all stored up in a box. What happened? What happened to the attachment to the dolls? A true love that came and an adult was able to remove the attachments from all these dolls. If you can find true love with somebody behind the eyes inside, it will quickly make you forget all the attachments outside. Where can you find that true love? A love that is so powerful, that can pull you there. It's not easy to find this. We know people have love. We know everybody has love in their hearts. But where can you find this kind of pure love that is so powerful, that can hold you there, and then for that moment you forget what is outside? It's only a human being whose love is so pure, whose love is so unconditional, whose love is so overpowering, whose love is so overwhelming, that if his image is there, we will forget what is outside. We call such a human being a perfect living master. We call him a perfect living master because such a human being does not live with the attachments of the world here. He lives in pure love of consciousness itself, a power that belongs to consciousness and to the soul and is not delegated to the mind or the body or the senses. Therefore, when such a person we come across in our life, the love that we experience from such a person, over time we find it is so unconditional, it is so pure, that there is nothing that can match it. And when we are able to establish that person's image, that person's experience in our head, at the point behind the eyes, what we call the third eye center, and that image comes and holds us, it makes us forget about the attachment outside. There's nothing more powerful than that which can hold us there. There we have right now a good justification for the role of a perfect living master in our spiritual journey. You can try as hard as you like without this. What will you be doing? Struggling with your mind, struggling with effort. And you can put all the effort in the world, you're putting mental effort. You can discover the functioning of the mind, you can go as far as the mind can go. You cannot find your true self that way. If you want to find your true self, go with the path of love, which arises from above the mind, and find somebody who has that unconditional love, which you can experience personally, and you can place that being inside you, either by the force of continuous remembrance, by the force of meditation, by the force of the love itself, by any means. When that form is inside, that's a sure way to forget for that moment the attachment that pull us out into this world. There's no greater shortcut I can think of to stabilize yourself at the starting point of a spiritual path.